Hey guys, it's me, 1239 here, and I'm here to give you guys the last video for my countdown series that I've been working on for the last 10 days before season 3 comes out. The reason why I decided to do a voiceover for this video is simply because of the fact that I am running out of time to make these videos, and my theory videos are always the longest to edit and plan out, so I think it's just easier if I do a voiceover and add some clips in the middle of the video, so I hope you guys don't mind. This won't be my regular routine, I'm just doing it for this one video just to save time. So tomorrow I'll be doing a YouTube live stream so we can conclude this series with a live conversation. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Now let's get down to the final theories I will suggest for season 3. Number 1, episode titles and synopsis released. So there have been 2 episode titles released for season 3 at the time I'm recording this video, with a brief synopsis for each. Episode 1's title is A Secret Which I Desire to Divine. This quote comes from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I read this novel in my senior year of high school. It's been a while since then, so I don't remember the novel entirely anymore, and plus it was an online class, so I didn't really get the best understanding of it the way I most likely would have in a physical classroom setting. But anyway, that's why we have the internet to give us a critical analysis of themes and characterization of novels we didn't fully comprehend in school. A very brief synopsis of the story is that Victor Frankenstein is a scientist who creates a monster in a scientist's experiment. The quote itself references Frankenstein's desire to figure out how to be divine, how to create life. The short synopsis for this episode is Anne's 16th birthday inspires her to learn more about her genealogy. I think the connection here is that Anne is seeking out to find who made her, who were her creators like Frankenstein was for his monster. It's about origin and identity. Those are the main themes of this episode. Episode 2's title is There is Something at Work in My Soul Which I Do Not Understand. In Frankenstein, this quote refers to Dr. Frankenstein's desire to travel and explore the world, to go on an adventure. The short synopsis for this episode of Anne is Anne's search takes her back to the orphanage where she's forced to confront new realities. Elijah pays a visit to Avonlea, so Anne wants to go on an expedition to find her origins. This trip should serve to fulfill her physical want to see the world and her intellectual want to figure out her identity. This can also tie into Elijah's travel to Avonlea. While one character, Anne, is going outside of Avonlea to search, Elijah is entering it. Episode 3's title is What Can Stop the Determined Heart. In reference to Frankenstein, this quote refers to the doctor's insatiable desire to discover and succeed. The short synopsis for this episode of Anne is As Easter approaches, Mary's illness brings change to Avonlea. Perhaps this still relates to Anne's desire to figure out more about her lineage. Maybe she was unsuccessful in episode 2, so the story arc will stretch itself into this episode. We've talked before about theories of what might be happening in the scene with Mary in the trailer. Now we know that she is ill. What does it mean that it will bring change to Avonlea? Will she feel segregated for having this illness? The word change in this context does not appear to be good, given that we've seen the way a lot of the citizens of Avonlea treated Vash when he first arrived. I definitely want to hear your thoughts about this, guys, so let me know in the comments below. Number 2, Edit magazine summary and photos. I ordered this Maritime Edit magazine last month and I got it in the mail recently. I posted some of the pictures I thought were really interesting. Just to quickly summarize what the text says in these articles, Amy, Beth, Lucas, Miranda, Moira, Joanna, who plays Miss Stacy, and Geraldine were interviewed for this magazine, and they basically break down what the story of Anne of Green Gables means to them, how and why the show is created. They talk about their love for each other in the cast and the hard work they put into the show. I thought it was all interesting, especially the parts that discuss how and why the show is created. There weren't any spoilers in this magazine, apart from the Sherbert picture, which I'm about to talk about. You guys can order a copy of this magazine on their website if you want. It ships internationally. I'll link it below. I will now talk about 3 BTS pictures that were published in this magazine. The first one shows a look at Amy, Beth, and Lucas filming a scene together where they have both sat down in front of a window. The house is evidently Miss Stacy's house because of the art on the wall that was designed by Miss Stacy with potatoes in season 2 when she had just arrived in Avonlea. Then we have another picture of a wider shot of the same scene where we can see the other kids such as Tilly, Josie, and the Billy Powells sitting around in a circle. This appears to be a study session that Miss Stacy is holding at her house. It's heavily implied that the students are prepping for the Queen's Academy entrance exams. It's strange how Anne and Gilbert are sitting next to each other. In the first book, Diane is not a part of this prep class, so Anne wouldn't have her to sit with. My theory is that the reason why Anne and Gilbert are sitting next to each other is because they're the top students in the class. Another explanation could be that they've actually grown closer this season to the point where Anne doesn't mind sitting next to him. The third picture I will talk about is one with Gaguette and Anne. Anne is holding a pen and paper as she and Gaguette are observing the camp. Perhaps Anne gets so inspired about the indigenous people that she decides to write a story about them and publishes it in the newspaper. That would explain the fountain pen emoji in Amy Beth's tweet. Number 3, short promo pics released on CBC. There's a few promo ads that have been airing on CBC since the trailer came out. We've talked about how there was a scene of Anne entering the orphanage with someone. So here are the other clips that have been aired on the CBC channel.
I've come to the happy evolutionary opinion that I am unusual, and I embrace it.
In this clip, Anne talks about accepting her unusual characteristic as she's praying to God. She's different, and I think this shows development from Anne's part. If she learns to accept herself, I think this foreshadows that others will start to accept her. I've talked about this before in my musical review, so you guys should go check it out. I'll leave a card in the top of this video and a link in the description box below.
Good, bad, or indifferent, know that you are so much just as you are right now.
In this next clip, we see that Aunt Josephine is giving Anne advice about the importance of staying true to yourself and that that's the best thing you can be. This looks like it ties into the previous clip we just saw, so Anne finally begins to accept herself with the help of Aunt Josephine, which I think is so sweet. The advice Aunt Josephine gives to Anne is what we all need to hear from time to time. Then there was another promo that Vaudrey tweeted to me about.
So Anne, are you gonna dance with Charlie tomorrow? Am I what?
Miss Stacy scheduled practice for the county fair barn dance. Boys and girls.
Maturity is exhausting.
I suppose love can storm and make a mess of everything that you have in place in your life. I sure didn't see Anne coming. I wouldn't go back for the world.
AnnewithanE.
They're practicing for the fair's barnyard dance. We already know that there's supposed to be a fair in one of the episodes, and the scene from the trailer that we see of the students practicing for a dance must be for this event. A mother is excited to see her son and runs across the field. The son is wearing a brown hat. I think this must be Mary and Elijah's reunion in episode 2, ? Life Distractions on Tumblr posted the following. Not sure if I'll get to record this one, so I'm putting this out there for anyone else who can do it. It just aired on CBC during the nature of things. All I got was at the beginning Miss Stacy says something like, "Anne, you will dance with Charlie," and Anne responds with, "What?" There's another shot of Anne dancing with Gil. More with Matthew talking about Anne lovingly, like in the trailer, and a shot of Mary happily running into the arms of Bash. Really cute. There is more, but I can't remember the rest. It's really clear that Anne is avoiding Charlie for some reason, as he told her he likes her. What other reasons could she have for avoiding him so much?
This hat, this represents the original Anne that I met at the train station that day.
Original Anne.
Number 4, IMDb's cast Jerry's father. It was recently pointed out that on IMDb, there's a new character coming into season 3 named Monsieur Bagnard. This could be Jerry's father, which would mean we would actually be getting to see Jerry's family in season 3. I wonder what function they will serve. This isn't a theory, but something I found kind of interesting as I was in my Intro to Indigenous Literature class last week was when my professor talked a little bit about Indigenous trading. Indigenous people would trade with European people for tools and weapons. I just want to point out an explicit meaning of how Guguet and Anne trade something in the scene where they first interact with each other. I'm also in an Intro to Cinema Studies class, and we're talking about the multiple levels of meaning in film, and so I think the referential meaning of Anne and Guguet trading might be about the history of indigenous trade goods with the Europeans. We're also learning about symptomatic meaning, which is the broader message. In short, it is when a storyline in film or a TV show comments something regarding the real world. I'm not quite sure what the symptomatic meaning of this action Guguet and Anne trading is because we haven't seen the episode yet, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to you guys on that. Is that recording? Yeah, that's recording. I don't know how I'm going to do this because this is very last minute and I'm freaking out right now. I'm adding this into my final theories video. I promised myself I would not talk about this just because there's so much going on and I have so much going on but like money, you know? I need the AdSense money, okay? That's mainly why I'm doing this, but I also wanted to satisfy you guys and show you guys what I think before season 3 comes out. So this came out recently. Let's talk about it. Just a few points I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna talk about the entire video. I'm not gonna talk about the entire series of clips that came out recently because there's just too much and I'm not about to analyze everything. The first thing we're gonna start off with is with the sherbet moment that is them on the train and Gilbert is kind of like sniffing a flower or something. The flower is supposed to mean something. Apparently, if you guys look at Moira's shirt in one of the interviews, you can see she has like meanings of flowers on her shirt, and so some people have been suggesting that it means, I think, love. But I wonder where he got the flower, I guess. That's my main question. Why does he have a flower? Who gave it to him? Is he gonna give it to someone like the girl sitting next to him. We got a hand-holding scene, which is very interesting and very funny to me. Generally, people have two suggestions for who these two people might be in the scene. So one is Anne and Gilbert. Anne is trying to hold Gilbert's hand. The other suggestion is Diana and Jerry. I'm leaning more towards Diana and Jerry, even though I don't want to, but I got to, because of the fact that Anne and Diana's outfits, like their coats, are kind of similar, so that's why it's hard to determine who is who without looking at their face, obviously. I don't know. I don't think Anne would try to grab his hand, you know? I don't know. There's stripes on the sleeves of the coat and on the dress. On the skirt part, right, there's like stripes of yellow, and so I don't know why. I just think that would be Diana's, because she's more stylish in a way, because she's able to. That was my reasoning for that. Okay, so there's a scene where Anne is looking intensely at Gilbert. They're at the back of the classroom. There's no one in the classroom, and Gilbert kind of like, I think he turns around like that, and then he looks at her and he kind of gets scared, which I thought was so funny, because in season 2 we kind of see Gilbert looking a little intensely at her. Now that we see her looking at him that way and he kind of jolts back, that was just hilarious to me. I don't know what this means. I don't know what's going on in the scene, but she seems to be leaning forward, which it's a no for me. I'm curious to see what happens, even if it's a Sherbert, because I gotta accept it's gonna happen. There's also a scene where Anne and Diana are looking kind of sad towards each other. Like, they're sitting in the classroom and Anne is, I think, grabbing onto Diana's hand or something, like trying to comfort her. Some people have suggested it's either because Diana's parents found out about Jerry, so that means she can't be with him, or she can't go to Queen's Academy because her parents won't let her, and Anne is, you know, upset and comforting her because she can't go to further education. There's also a scene where Gilbert is kind of like, he's in a restaurant and he's smiling at someone. Some people think it's a Sherbert date. I personally think it's him talking to Dr. Ward, I think, right? Because he's his apprentice, right? I would imagine them meeting together at some point in Charlottetown to have lunch or something and then get back to work. I think that's what's going on. Or maybe it's with Bash, you know. Well, there's also some other clips and stuff in another video that CBC posted recently, but I don't think there was anything there worth talking about. It was mostly just about the cast and stuff. If you guys want to check that out, it's on Instagram. It's on Instagram at CBC_television. It's a part of the IGTV story thing that they have going on there. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to talk about for today. There's a lot more, obviously, that happened, like clip-wise, but those are the main things I think I can get into. There's also Gilbert's coat. His red checkered coat is back. Everyone's happy about that. We love that. And that's it. Okay, and I'm gonna head back to the outro of this video, I guess. Okay, bye. So that's actually the end of this video. I don't know how long this will be, but I hope you guys enjoy this. This is my final theories video for season 3. I know I've been doing this for, I think, seven months, and that's kind of crazy, but a chapter is closed and season 3 will be premiering very soon. And just to remind you guys, as I said in the beginning of this video, that I will be doing a hangout tomorrow, Saturday, September 21st. I don't know what time yet, but definitely check my community tab or my Instagram, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated that way. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for always watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been incredible, and I can't wait to watch season 3 with you guys and fangirl and all that stuff. So excited. And yeah, follow me on all my social media accounts. They should be appearing on the screen right now. Subscribe to my channel if you guys want. Definitely do so, because I'll be posting reactions and stuff. I'm gonna miss a lot of you guys who are deciding not to watch season 3 until it comes out for them on Netflix. As I said in my how to avoid spoilers video, that is completely fine. I hope you guys enjoy the season. I'll talk to you guys later. Knock on wood for Selma. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys!